Vibe coding. Bunch of programmers sitting around typing prompts into an AI large language model, trying to generate applications from the code that comes out of the large language model. Now look, do you know what a large language model is? Do you know how these AIs work? They are mathematical functions. You provide an input and it gives you an output derived from mathematical manipulations. What is the input? It's a string of tokens. What is the output? It is the next most likely token, which it then adds to the end of the input string and then uses that as the new input string to generate the next most likely token. That is what a large language model does. Now, how does it generate the next most likely token? Matrix multiplications. Multiplications with really, really big matrices. And where does it get these big matrices? It generates them through the training process. It literally reads the entire internet and every bit of code on GitHub. Good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter. It reads everything and then it manuginates it and it crunches it and it runs it around through mathematical functions to populate these matrices that it then multiplies together to calculate the next most likely token. Yes, that's right. The code that you are producing when you are vibe coding is simply a string of the next most likely tokens. Now, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. My brain is calculating the next most likely word to come out of my mouth. But it does not do that by using matrix multiplications. My brain is not doing that as a mathematical function. Have you ever thought about what your brain is? Do you know the structure of the human brain? There are 1 trillion neurons in your brain, and each one of those neurons is an information processor. My dog has not quite that many neurons in her brain, and she's upset with my ranting at the moment. But your brain has 1 trillion neurons, and those neurons are each an information processor that's wildly complicated, far more complicated than a transistor. And it's interconnected with tens of thousands of other neurons. They're not interconnected by a 64-bit bus. No, tens of thousands of interconnections running and running and running. Not necessarily the way a large language model works. Now, a little bit more sophisticated than that. Large language models do not think. They simply calculate. Now, there's nothing wrong with using a large language model. They are tools. They are power tools. They are extremely efficient power tools. Yes, you can use them to help you generate code. But you know what happens when a novice uses a power tool? They lose fingers.